Hello everyone, this is Brenniger. Raleigh of Fish Keeping Jamaica asked me to shoot a segment on the live foods I culture for my aquarist hobby. I don't culture cherry shrimp as live foods, I keep them as pets, but I did want to show you the best cherry shrimp that I have. Note the color on this shrimp. You'd think that I had select bred her. She's a very deep red. I hope more of my cherry shrimp turn out like her. I'm not select breeding shrimp. At this point I only move young shrimp because older ones are notorious for being difficult to acclimate. I hope she bears some shrimplets. I haven't been able to keep White Cloud Mountain minnow fry alive most of the time on pulverized flake food, so I've ordered a starter culture of a live food that hopefully will be better for them. This is supposed to be vinegar eels. I hope there's some vinegar eels left in this. Looks to me like most of the culture is gone. So this is a double bagged vinegar eel culture. I took those last few drops of vinegar eel culture and added them to 50% apple cider vinegar, 50% aquarium water, and added some apple slices to these jars and covered them with paper towels held in place with rubber bands. Now I'm supposed to wait a month, and hopefully after that time I'll be culturing vinegar eels. On the bottom shelf of this stand and next to the stand on the table in the window, I keep gallon jars of used aquarium water with some compost to culture green water indoors. I've added air stones to the green water cultures because although the water may turn green initially, after a while the phytoplankton seems to settle to the bottom and expire. So I believe keeping them in suspension will help the phytoplankton to survive. I also culture green water outside behind my house during warmer months. Each year mosquitoes also infest these cultures and have a ready source of live fish food with those. But I try to remove them immediately before they pupate. I don't want any extra adult mosquitoes about my house. The red lids allow some bugs that fall into this water to escape. The main point is to avoid fouling the water with rotten bugs. When I find dead or live bugs floating in this water, I remove them immediately. I culture Daphinia on the top two levels of this stand in the window. I have 11 gallon jars at this point. A few of the jars also contain some brown paper and perhaps some blackworms in the substrate, just in case my other blackworm culture expires. Here's a close-up of a Daphinia culture that's doing fairly well. Incidentally, there's also some seed shrimp in the culture. I'm not sure if fish eat them or not. I've had them infest a shrimp tank before and they never seem to go away. Not until I added White Cloud Mountain minnows. Now I don't see any seed shrimp in that tank. This one's probably doing the best at this point. The best way I've found to keep blackworms is in a 5-gallon bucket using mainly brown paper without any writing, without any ink on it, as a food source. As the brown paper deteriorates, the worms consume it. Occasionally I add a little bit of fish food, but the more fish food you add, the more often you have to do water changes. And a water change for a blackworm culture just involves straining all the substrate, which includes the blackworms, rinsing it thoroughly, and doing a partial water change. But these have no heater. Some people use a sponge filter, but I've found that blackworms tend to invade the sponge, so I just add an air stone, keep it aerated, and also keep a lid over the 5-gallon bucket. Of course, there's a gap left from the airline. Incidentally, some Daphnia got into this culture long ago, and sometimes there's enough of them to actually extract some with a turkey baster and feed to my fish. It comes and goes, but even though it's usually quite dark in here, you see that the Daphnia do exist without phytoplankton. They just consume whatever microbes are in this water. Blackworms make a great treat for tropical fish like this betta splendens. But only as a treat. Don't feed them too often because they are high in fat. I give my betta splendens a treat of blackworms maybe once a week. I'm feeding some Daphnia to my White Cloud Mountain minnow adults. I strained the Daphnia through a regular fish net to get the largest ones out. The White Clouds enjoy the small to medium sized Daphnia.